in Vegas. Do you get jittery at all or nervous before going on, or you're
I
seasoned?
get concerned, and my biggest problem is not the impression, it's the order. Who comes next? You know, and this time, I've never done this before in my career, but instead of just doing an impression of somebody, which I've always done, I'm now showing some of my art because I sketch, you know.
Right, I
I do portraits. I've done this since I was 15, so I've got hundreds of portraits. So I'm doing an impression, I'm showing my art, and then I'm also showing me with the person I'm impersonating. So if I'm doing a little George Burns, you know, and doing George, then all of a sudden you'll see me talking to George. Or with John Wayne, you'll see the real John Wayne, or the real Dean Martin. So I'm putting those elements in the show now, and I've never done that before.
So this is really highly produced, which is awesome.
Well, I'm very fortunate to have so many clips from shows I did. And, you know, when you think about it, I came along like on those Dean Martin roasts, which I did about 24 of them.
Oh my gosh.
I came along at a very young age. I was in my 20s, and most of those people, like Jack Benny, George Burns, Don Rickles, were all older than I was. So I'm one of the last few that are living, you know, and have worked with those giants which no longer are around. And it's, you know, it's nostalgia, but a lot of young people are kind of interested in nostalgia. They want to see what their parents were laughing at. So they're kind of curious.
Yeah. Living
I've had
history.
people come to see my show, and young people, and say, "Oh my God, your show was so funny, but I didn't know anybody who did. I didn't know a single soul."
Now,
But
when
you
did
don't
you
need
know
to.
that you had this talent?
Well, I remember sitting down at the dinner table when I was a teenager, and I'd just seen a Jimmy Stewart movie, and I said to my mom, I said, "Mom, I'd like a piece of apple pie." And she said, "Wow, that's a great Jack Benny."
Well, it's such a great pleasure to have you here with us today. And of course, we're going to talk more about your show. We're also pleased, though, to